fifth grade. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the vocab nomination process. So you'll get to that assignment from your classwork tab. You can see it's listed here under work for the week of November 9th through the 13th. It's Monday, the 9th of November. And so here's the assignment that I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it's important that you always go to view assignment, that you just don't start clicking in here. So we're going to view assignment, and then I'm going to move my face. So you can see that I have attached everything that you need to complete this lesson here. This is where you'll actually do your work. Anything that you're turning in or that needs to be added needs to be done up here in this section where it says your work. I'm going to start by reading you the instructions. First is to watch this video lesson. 2, if you come across some fab vocab as you're reading from your independent reading book this week or from an EPIC book, and I haven't posted a link yet or information about that, but you'll see that hitting your Google Classroom feed. I'm hoping that you're able to use that for independent reading. If for some reason you didn't take your independent reading book home or you've run out of things to read, this will allow you to access the audio books and the online books and still keep reading. Anyway, back to the lesson. As you're reading from that independent reading book or from that EPIC book, you come across some fab vocab, and remember that fab vocab is vocabulary that is going to enrich or increase your classmates' vocab index. So it's not something that everybody already knows. It's going to make us smarter and better communicators if we learn that word. So if you come across a word, then you're going to nominate it. You can see that I've included an example here of what a completed nomination looks like. I'm going to move my face over here. So my word is audacity. The part of speech, you can find that in the dictionary. You can see that this is a noun. This is who nominated the word. It was me. This is where the word came from. This is a book that I was reading when I found this word. Suffixes that can be added, again, you're going to find this in the dictionary. I will show you that in just a minute. Then you're going to post the definition. You can see that this word has 2 definitions, and I decided that I wanted to include both of those definitions. That is a decision that you will have to make if you find that a word has multiple meanings. My advice to you on that is to look at how it's used in your book and go with that definition. This one, I felt it was important that you understood that it had 2 meanings, and so I went ahead and included both of those. So when I went to the thesaurus, okay, so I got the noun, the suffixes, and the definition. I got all of that from the online dictionary, which I will demonstrate in a moment. After I was completing these sections, I had to use a different resource. I had to use a thesaurus to find the synonyms, which are words that mean the same thing as your word, and the antonyms, which are words that mean the opposite of what your word means. I'll demonstrate that in a moment too. For the example sentence, I kind of had to make that up on my own because I had to use it in a sentence, but then I had to also make sure that I included context clues that would help a reader who didn't know my word be able to figure it out. So when you're creating those example sentences, you can Google, use the word audacity in a sentence, but you still have to use your brain. You can't just copy and paste it, and you have to probably go back in then and add context clues. So if you're going to copy a sentence that you use online, you need to make sure that it makes sense and that you know what the sentence is talking about. Otherwise, you won't be able to modify it. And then I'm going to jump to slide 2. So you would add your word here, and then you would look for a picture that demonstrates what the word means. You can't just Google or do an image search for your word. You have to use critical thinking, and you have to ask yourself, what do I need to search for that would return an image that shows what my word means? So it's not difficult, but it's not as simple as just Googling your word and looking for an image. Remember, you do not need to do the video. So on the template that you have, there will be some words here that say, you're not responsible for this. Mrs. H will take care of this. But if you have any suggestions for a clip, this is where you add those suggestions. So like if there's a movie or a video that you think would demonstrate what your word means, you can just type in that box and let me know that. You, again, are not responsible for adding the video. I have to do that. So once you get the picture added and your word put here, then it's ready to turn in. I'm going to go back to this assignment in Google Classroom. Again, once you've completed it, you're going to click the Turn In button. I'm going to back up, though, and I'm going to show you how to use the online dictionary. So I'm going to click on that link. I'm just using dictionary.com. If you prefer to use a different online dictionary, that's absolutely fine. That's your decision. Well, this isn't good. There we go. All right. And so my word was audacity. So I would type my word and then I would search for it. It's going to come up with how you say it. So if I'm not sure how you say the word, then I could listen to the definition. It's going to, do you see it's already telling me, hey, you can go and find synonyms for this word on thesaurus.com, or I could do it just by clicking there. This is where I find the part of speech right here. This is where it tells that it's a noun. It also gives me a little clue about what kind of suffixes I can add, because it says, hey, this has a plural form. If you change the Y to an I and add IES, that's going to work. And then you can also see right here, you have audacious. So you can add IOUS also. So that's how you know, is by looking at the entry. That's how you know what the suffixes are. So if you think back to this part of the slide where I put suffixes that can be added to it, that's where I got it, the IES and the OUS. The part of speech, I got that from that dictionary entry right here. It says it's a noun. Then you go back here, you can see that my definition came from right here. Boldness or daring, I simplified it. And then it also talks about effrontery or insolence, shameless, boldness. Again, I didn't like the way that this definition worded it. I thought it would be confusing for people who were trying to learn it. And so on that actual definition, I think I went with a Google dictionary. So again, if the meaning or the definition doesn't make sense, you can just Google that word by selecting it and right-clicking or double-clicking. It's not letting me do it right now. I can go to Tools, and for some reason it's not coming up. Probably because it's in view only, it's not letting me edit it, so it's not giving me those tools. However, you would double-click here, and you could ask it to define that word. You could ask it to define that word for you, and it would bring up a menu over here with a definition. So it's like a quick little dictionary search. So I'm going to jump back over here. Remember, I told you that you can click here to go to the thesaurus, or you can use the link that is attached to the assignment right here. Synonyms and antonyms. Again, I have to use this search just the way I did on the dictionary, so I would type my word. And then you can see synonyms for audacity. Now be careful with this. You can see that it has two definitions here. So if you chose to do what I did, which was to use synonyms for both, then they would appear here. You have two different tabs. Be careful when you're selecting synonyms. Make sure you know what the word means, because you're not going to be able to teach that to other people if you yourself don't know what that word means. Also, chances are, if you know what it means, other students are likely to know what it means, so that will be a helpful tool. Now, I'm going to scroll down to show you the antonyms for Audacity. They're down here in gray, okay? And then you can also see swap Audacity in a sentence. This is a new feature, and so if you were trying to swap out the word Audacity, which is what a thesaurus is for, to help you find a better word or a different word that means the same thing, you could use this feature here. At this time, I don't think that's anything that we need to worry about. So I think that is pretty much it. The only thing that is left for you to do is to come up with an example sentence for your word. I think I've shown you what to do for every other part of the vocab nomination. Again, this is not due until Friday, because the idea is that you will be reading in your independent reading book this week. And as you come across a word that you think will be good for the rest of us to know and learn, then you will nominate it. Again, you do all of your work here. And then when you have completed that nomination with everything except for the video, then you're going to click turn on in. I think I possibly forgot to show you how to insert a picture. I think most of you are pretty familiar with that, but you would do that. Again, this isn't going to let me do this, I think, because I'm in view access. Maybe I can do it if I go to, okay, if I were to go here. So I would select this text box and I would say insert image, and I would say search the web, and then I would search for images there, and then it would allow me to insert it. The other way that you can do this is to do a Google search. So I was looking for pictures of risky behavior, or rude behavior, bold behavior. So I would possibly do a search there, and then I would do an image search and find something there. You could also, let me see, I would click here for images. Okay, so maybe let's just say I'm going to use this one. You can see that that's actually a video, so I don't probably want to use that one. How about this one right here? So I would click on it, and then I would right click and say copy image, and then I would go back to mine right here, select everything here. Sorry, that didn't work. I love that undo button for that reason. I'm going to say paste, and then I'm probably going to make this smaller, select this box, delete it, and then turn it in. Okay, again, this would be something that you would just give me notes about if you wanted to. It's not necessary. If you want to leave it blank, then that's fine. Again, I want to show you really quick here. So if your word, I'm going to type my word. If you didn't want to use dictionary.com, or you don't like the definition that returns, you can select your word, right click or double click if you're on your Chromebook, and it says define Audacity. Just click that here, and then it comes up with those definitions here. So you can see this is bold and risky behavior, and this one's rude or disrespectful behavior. So that's actually where I got the ones that I use for mine. So you have a couple of options available to you guys. Again, don't forget, after you've completed this whole nomination form, except for the video, you're going to come here and click turn in. Hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Love and miss you guys.